Today, talking from Mumbai at the World Congress on Disaster Management. I'll be here all this week, diving into disaster management, disaster risk reduction, resilience, with practitioners from all over the world. It's in there more than 30 countries represented among 1,000 delegates. A lot of people from India, from the government, from the academia, from NGOs, from United Nations agencies. I mean, there's a huge, and there's also some people from corporate sector. So a huge representation of people who are engaged in disaster risk reduction, in saving lives before the disaster, or mitigating the impact of the disaster on the lives and the livelihoods of people. What is my intake for today? I think the word that comes to my mind is daring to change. Because to change, you need to dare doing that. So daring to change is what comes to my mind. Three things that gave me this experience of this excitement of that, yes, we're changing. You know, in disaster risk reduction, disaster management, it's a lot of talking and big concepts and big experts and everything. And we're not that open to the rest of the world. When you are general public or you are from the business sector, how do you get engaged? How do you bring your stone to your building brick to the building? It's very difficult. So what I heard today, I was in a session where they plan to open a center of excellence in India on disaster risk reduction. And the idea is to have an open center where corporate people, young people, people from the academia can come also, contribute, give their views and give what they have to give, exchange, share, learn. So that's a big advancement, that's a big change, and we need that change. The second thing is, at the opening I saw the chief of Maharashtra introducing the event, and I was amazed. He spoke almost 15 minutes without notes. It was just coming so much from his heart and his head. He had this vision, this clarity, he had the statistics. It was very well structured. He knew what he was talking about. And it's the first time I see a person, a political person of this level, who really speaks from the heart and the head on this topic. So it is also a change, and it takes daringness to make that change, to take on board a topic that is not so much sexy or exciting for the political agenda, but to take it and really believe and be committed to it. And the third thing is a panelist, well, the chair of a panel on research, which was by itself really a change. Also having the research topic as one of the first topics on a disaster management conference. He said disaster management is about political process. I say yes, it's about decision making, it's about moving forward, it's about being accountable. So political, also what I like about it, for me it's not only about politicians, it is first, but it's also about me as a citizen, as a practitioner, as a person living in this community and being active in my community. How much am I accountable towards the others, towards my neighbors, towards the communities I'm working with, and towards the world. So that's my sharing for today, daring to change. And I will keep this inspiration alive until tomorrow. Second day of the World Conference on Disaster Management in Mumbai. As you can see, I've left the convention center and I'm in one of the main streets of Poway, which is the northern part of Mumbai. Nice food, warm people, very lively, as you can see and you can hear, and I really enjoy this area. Yesterday my word, my inspiration, my trigger was daring to change, and today it was accountability. Accountability, yes, towards the one we usually have and we usually understand, accountability towards the people who fund our projects, the people we work for, the people we sign contract with. But what about the accountability towards the communities we work for? The accountability towards our audience when we speak? The accountability towards the people we serve through our business, through our products? Interesting to start to be more aware and more conscious about how accountable am I? Am I giving the best of me? Am I giving all of my efforts? Of course, within the scope of my abilities and capacities and opportunities. But But am I feeling accountable towards them? Even when the deal is finished, or even when the project is funded? How is it? So, yeah, my invitation to myself first and to you, if you want to take it, is let us explore accountability in a deeper dimension, where it's not only directly, but the other step towards the people we give to. And it's not because we give that we don't owe quality, dignity, respect. On the contrary. Actually, I remember in my last talk in Madrid 3 weeks back, one lady was mentioning, no, sometimes how she can observe that we give and we just give what is easy to give, and we don't care too much about if it's really what people need. So this level of accountability is essential to explore it. And the second, another dimension of accountability, I said it's our actions, and also the actions we avoid to take or we omitted to take. That came out when I gave my talk in a session that was exploring conflict, displacement, and rights. And then we noticed that, in the disaster management kind of situation, there are things that cannot be said. There are problems that we don't bring to the tables. And yes, we criticize government, or we criticize UN, or we criticize others, because of course, all the blame is, like in life, it's always the fault of the others. So we blame people. Yeah, maybe we're right. They hold the first responsibility. But we don't move forward, we don't dare speaking up, we don't dare doing, we don't dare proposing constructively. So, yeah, what about this level of accountability, saying, well, I will dare speaking what I have to speak, and I will dare doing what is required here, even if maybe many people would not be pleased with me, even if it implies some risks for me in terms of, my easiness to work with these people, but I will present what I present in a constructive way, because blaming and complaining and criticizing for just the sake of it, we see in so many societies nowadays, when people indulge in that, it just goes to violence, polarization, and does not bring anything. It cuts off the dialogue. If you're not on my side, I cannot talk to you anymore, or I just judge you from my perspective. So this we are seeing nowadays more and more, how it's not effective. The accountability and the daring to say and daring to do I'm speaking about is from a constructive approach. It does not mean that I'm not going to challenge the person to be accountable for what they have to be accountable. It does not mean I'm not going to be firm. It does not mean I may disagree and I'm not going to say I agree when I don't. But I'm going to feel accountable not only of what I dare saying or what I dare doing, but also accountable for the way I do it. So that's my invitation to you. I hope you take it, and for those who take it, who want to explore accountability towards the people we give something to, through our business, through our speeches, through our non-profit work, accountability in terms of what we do and what we now from today dare doing or dare speaking, and the accountability on how we do things and how we say things. Thank you. Looking forward to the third day of this conference, and looking forward to sharing with you my inspiration tomorrow. Third day at the World Congress on Disaster Management, Mumbai. Today my words are two: how and when. And not only they're linked, the two of them, but they're linked also to the previous 2 days' words that inspired me so much. First day was daring to change, and second was accountability. How do I implement what I know about? How do I make my expertise and my knowledge practical, something that can be implemented? How do I share with people experience instead of only knowledge? How do I dare moving from this comfort zone of knowing and only sharing my knowledge to actually go and check in the field, in the ground, in the practical experience, how it works, what does not, and how it could work better. Yesterday I had a very inspiring lunch with two young practitioners of disaster management who were faced with massive floods in the state of Kerala in India. And they were telling me how much they enjoyed some of the presentations, but they were kept with the question after, how? So I told them, ask and ask. And they didn't want to offend. I said, there's no offense, but just ask the question very constructively, very positively. And when people tell you this and that, okay, how would you recommend to put that in action? This is accountability also for the ones who knows, the ones who had the expertise, the ones who did the research. Yes, may not be an implementer, but needs to support the implementers to make it practical. Somehow we cannot stay only in the what and the why, like we cannot be only in the how. Because if we do the how without knowing why we're doing that and what we're doing, that's a disaster. So how do we link these different questions together? And whether the comfort zone is from one side or the other, how do we dare going outside where the magic happens, where the connection happens with others, and where we can really meet this common ground, where what we know, what we have learned becomes a change, a difference in the lives of people, in our own lives, in practicality. And an essential second question is when? When will I do that? I mean, we have all experienced in our own lives and even in our jobs, how we avoid sometimes the question of the when, because it gives us time and we procrastinate, and maybe with some luck we will never end up doing it. No more. My invitation so to you and to me is really to step into awareness about how and when in my life, in our lives, in our jobs, in our projects. How and when are we going to make this difference and to make it happening? Fourth and last day at the World Congress on Disaster Management. My word for today, bounce forward. Do you want to bounce back or bounce forward? Was the question addressed to us by Dr. Antonia Loizaga from the Manila Observatory in the Philippines. And I loved it. When we have disaster in our lives, when we have a disaster in our business, a disaster in our community, do we want to bounce back or bounce forward? Take the disaster as something we could not avoid, something that we're suffering about, or something that, yes, we are deep into it. Yes, we are suffering. Yes, there's been loss, but there's an opportunity. And we look for the opportunity to move further, to move higher, and yes, to get back to what we had, some of the things we had. We want to regain them, rebuild them, but better, higher, more powerful. So my invitation to me, to you, to us, is let us look how we speak and live our legacy, supporting others, supporting ourselves to bounce forward, taking advantage of any challenge and seeing the opportunity in every disaster.